Hi, everyone. This is Adriana, joined here with my grandmother, Caitlin, again for our Heart to Heart Astrology podcast. So, we have so much to talk about for March. There is so much astrology. I'm sure you've heard other astrologers say this, how much astrology and craziness is happening for March. So, we are going to do our best to cover it all in this video, but we are going to make a second video for this month to talk about the rest of March. So near the end, what's going on there as well. So in this video specifically, we are going to talk about the galactic astrology of this total lunar eclipse, which is taking place in Virgo. And we also are going to be sharing oracle and tarot card messages on this powerful energy. Happy birthday to our podcast. Happy first anniversary. Yay.
1 year.
We've
Wow.
done 1 year. We made it.
We
Yay.
did. And we
If you've
appreciate
been watching us, we appreciate you. Yes. This past year has been amazing, and we've loved doing this podcast together. So thank you for supporting us. As always, we love to hear your comments. So say hi to us.
Please subscribe and then send it to your friends. On my own YouTube channel, I had a lot of growth. So I want to thank whoever has done that. I mean, like 40 new subscribers. So I'm just so thrilled. So you are watching. That gives us, that kind of, we need that love so we can keep going and bring even more to you. Because as we're learning, we want to help you learn. And we'd love to have more comments. Maybe you can help us learn too. We're open to that. So
Absolutely.
here's to the next year, opening even more. Yeah.
Yes, especially with springtime too, new beginnings happening here. So perfect timing with that.
Yes.
Caitlin, do you want to give your little introduction too for those who are new?
I've been, involved, started out with my mother teaching me yoga in 1970. I go that far back. And then it just uh, progressed forward. And then she also taught me astrology, actually the same year. Linda Goodman, Sun Signs, that famous book back in the day, that was our big thing. And then eventually I got very seriously interested in astrology through Molly McCord and Rick Levine, listening to their videos, and started a lot of self-teaching, and then found our beautiful Julia Balaz at the Galactic Astrology, QSG, Quantum Soul Guidance. And I am now a practitioner, and Adriana as well. So we do reports and we do readings, and we can fit it to whatever size you want. And I just did a 55 page. So that's not necessarily always going to be the way, but we could also do a 1 page on one question. So you would contact us at our emails and then tell us what you want. And I think we're very reasonable. So for the quality you're going to get, right?
Yeah, definitely. We are very customizable. I myself am Adriana. I have been doing tarot readings for over 5 years now. And then I always had an interest in astrology. I seriously started to learn it through my grandmother's course, actually. So if you are interested, she does teach. So if you want to contact Caitlin, I don't know if you are offering any, are you
Yeah,
doing any classes soon?
that's going to be starting back up now that I'm healing from the surgery. I actually might be doing it at two different stores in our area here locally. But I do want to offer an online class or workshop too. Not the galactic yet, but right now I'm still working with the basic. And then I have a basic two, like a 101 and a 102 that'll start up. As we gather more people interested in the galactic, we definitely can do that. Or you can sign up for the courses with Julia Balaz. She has a 101 course she has for Galactic, and then she has the course that Adrian and I went through, which is to become a practitioner. So there's a lot of availability based on your interest.
If anyone is interested too in signing up for that Galactic Astrology course, or for what we do is we are QSG practitioners. So I will put the link in the description below if you would like to check that out or sign up. So I became a Galactic Astrologer last year with Caitlin as well. So we were certified around the same time. I think you were a bit earlier though than me and loving it. I specialize more so in the past life readings, past lives beyond earthly realms, going into the galactic realms and even earth past lives as well. So if that's something that interests you and figuring out, ancestral patterns and healing on that type of level and really getting to know yourself, reach out, feel free to send me an email. If you're a returning subscriber here, welcome back and grab a cup of tea or coffee and listen in to everything we have to share today.
Nice
So
big one
here we
here.
go. Yeah. We have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo and it's at 23 degrees. So you could always check in your own birth chart or your natal chart to see where that could be affecting you as well. 23 degrees. It's making a conjunction, so it's right next to the South Node, which is also in Virgo, at 27 degrees. So when this eclipse happens, obviously it is opposing in the chart the sun and moon. So the sun is also making a conjunction to the North Node. So we have the South Node, the North Node, the sun and moon here. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So for me, this is symbolizing the end of a cycle and a start to a new one. Very powerful. The moon is also making a trine in Uranus. I will talk a little bit about that as well. And the energies behind Pegasus Constellation. So Pegasus, particularly with fixed stars Markab, the sun is making a conjunction to at very tightly at 0.07 of an orb. Neptune is also conjunct Sheet, which is also conjunct the sun. They're like all next to each other. I'll show the chart in a minute so you can see better. For my visual learners, as I'm the same.
Yeah.
So that is all happening there. Very watery energy, along with the North Node, of course, in Pisces. So lots of water energy happening there. What else do we also have going on in March? The notorious Mercury retrograde. Yes, it's upon us. We are in the pre-shadow period at the time of recording this. You're probably already feeling the effects of it right now with maybe delays or communication issues. So watch out for that. Yes, this does happen and amps up during Mercury retrograde. This is happening from March 15th to April 7th. We also have Venus retrograde, which has already started at the time of this video, March 1st, and will be going till April 12th. So the Venus retrograde lasts a little bit longer than Mercury does because of the orbit around the sun. So we are going to see, yes, some changes with communication and some relationship issues can arise there. I think I'm going to actually make a separate video talking about that. So if you want to check that out on my Starry Sky Readings YouTube channel, look out for that there. And I might do some readings on that as well. First of all, what do eclipses mean? Eclipses can be omens for change and transitional periods as one cycle ends and another begins. I spoke in a previous video where I was talking about the nodes that have been shifting for this next year and going into 2026. So the North Node is now in Pisces, South Node is now in Virgo. So we have the future in Pisces, the past in Virgo, and we're seeing a balancing act playing out here through this year with those energies. The North Node, which we can see as where we are guided on our collective path, is going towards Pisces, and what we're comfortable in is with Virgo. And Virgo is kind of helping to ground us, I feel, during this eclipse. So it's not that Virgo is very useful with this, I feel. So even though we are trying to guide ourselves towards Pisces, the North Node, we still have that grounding that Virgo helps to keep us in check here, which is good and part of that balancing act. So this Virgo full moon is conjunct the South Node, which is being eclipsed by the Pisces sun. So I feel this represents our collective shift from old paradigms into a new one, bringing in more spirituality, tuning into our emotions, and hidden things rising to the surface. I feel that's very big. This also comes into play with that Pluto into Aquarius now. And with the also Neptune is moving into Aries at the end of the month, which I will be speaking about in our next videos. So there's a conjunction with the fixed stars, Markab and Sheet, in the Pegasus constellation. So let me just share now. Okay, so here is the Galactic Astrology chart. Sorry, it is a bit dark for the background. I think it just downloads that way for some reason, unfortunately. But the main thing, though, is to see the fixed stars here, which is nice and bright, thankfully. So um, it may be hard to see the lines here, but Sun in Pisces making that conjunction. And then, of course, we have our moon in Virgo here opposing that to make the full moon and eclipse happening.
Mhm.
And here's Markov as well, so making a conjunction to um, to the sun here. That's why it's a bit hard to see. And Neptune is making the conjunction here to Sheet. So both in the Pegasus constellation. So we see we have a lot of energy, water energy happening here. A lot of signs in Pisces, but starting to shift into Aries. So we'll start to see towards the end of the month how it starts to kind of go back and forth there between water and fire happening, I feel.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of still conjuncts in the on the 29th as well with Pegasus. So it's a Pegasus winged horse month.
Yeah, very much so with the
Yeah.
Pisces energy and
The
Aries.
lagoon behind me and on my my background for the mermaid energy. Feels like a mermaid, so it's gonna rise up out of that beautiful blue lagoon.
Yeah, we attract a lot of mermaids
We
for our readings, don't we? We have a lot
yeah.
of mermaid clients.
If you're interested in finding out about Pegasus and any of, we're the ones because we have a lot of research. Both Adriana and Adriana's made beautiful graphics too with these connections.
What does this mean then? This constellation, the Pegasus constellation, is associated with flight, adventure, and freedom. So Sheet or Beta Pegasi is located on the leg of Pegasus, and the energy from past life readings I had here is very aquatic and again, mermaidian energy. So contact us if you want to know if you're a mermaid or not.
Join our club.
Yeah, the Mermaid Club. And with Sirius, the alignments too. Sirius has very much that mermaidian energy with Cancer. But
Mhm.
anyways, Markab or Alpha Pegasi is the more logical side, I would say. And those with this in their charts tend to be more tech savvy and innovative and has been favorable by ancient galactic astrologers for abundance and riches. Markab, that word, comes from the Arabic word saddle, as this star is located on the back of the winged horse in the Pegasus constellation. The Sun and Saturn are paired together, as we saw in that chart, making a conjunction to Markab during this eclipse. The North Node and Neptune are paired together, making a conjunction to Sheet. So what does this mean with these dynamic duos here making a conjunction to these stars in Pegasus? This entails, I feel, government changes, karma starting to come into play, and light being shed on dark places. I feel like this, I see this visual of like just lighting up a stage here, turning the lights on and light being blasted through with all this energy happening. So hidden agendas, anything that's been hidden is just going to be put on the spotlight here. And we're seeing that already. You know, we've been seeing that even last year as well, but it's really getting illuminated now, I feel. So being put on the spotlight front and center stage here. So I would say to try to stay aware of illusions and fantasies being played up, so to speak, whether that is in our personal lives and it can be through the media, as of course, Mercury retrograde is kicking off the same day, or actually, I think it's the day after, depending where you're located. You may also experience more vivid dreams with that Neptunian energy and just Pisces in general as well. During this whole month with this energy, this is a good time to protect your own energy and doing cleansing. Even starting to do spring cleaning is a great way actually to feel more zen and peace in your space. It's really honestly a great way. I know it sounds so simple and mundane, but it really is something that can really help clear the old energy, especially from winter, depending where you live, of course. So starting fresh, bringing in that fresh new energy with springtime. That's even, the Virgo moon kind of coming in, getting us organized. The Virgo moon and the Virgo South Node helping to ground us through this time of heightened emotions and sensitivities as we journey towards this Pisces North Node energy. Okay, so I had a lot to say there on all that. So, Caitlin, please tell us more about this lunar eclipse.
Okay, I'd like to talk also about the lunar eclipse in Virgo and really kind of explore what it means. So eclipses are moments of cosmic alignment. And when in this case, the sun is shining in Pisces and the moon will be full in Virgo, along with our Earth, they will all three come into an exact configuration. So a lunar eclipse is a supercharged full moon, signaling a time to let go and a time for completion. So when the lunar eclipse is in Virgo, the themes may be influenced by the qualities of the planet Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, and is known for being the zodiac sign of great precision, practicality, and spiritual service. So it's important to mention that there will be great influence from the retrograde of Venus in Aries, which starts March 1st, or started March 1st. We're recording on March 1st. Um, and this will go through the 27th in Venus and Aries. But then she's going to revert to the sign of Pisces just in time for the solar eclipse in Aries. And I believe in Aries Libra polarity. When I do the eclipses, I feel if you leave out the Libra, we're leaving out a whole half of what happens. I think it's important to not just say a solar eclipse in Aries. But Venus in Pisces will then go direct around the 12th and the 13th of April. So we have a long haul here, about pretty much a month and a half, which is very often with Venus retrograde, which happens like every 18 months. So it's not like we have them like every couple of months like we do Mercury. So Venus in retrograde may color and tone your experiences of the eclipse energies. So it will bring your attention to love and relationships. That's what Venus rules. So, a few questions here. How do you value your relationships? How are you creatively expressing your love towards yourself, others? And the big one is, do you have the ability to receive love from others? This seems to be an area many people struggle with, especially women in many cases. I've done healing work for 28 years and I've heard this one over and over. So I know it's truth. The eclipse energies may be quite amplified by Venus in retrograde. So as I share the eclipse themes, I want you to view them with Venus in Aries, which is retrograding right now in mind. Keep awareness. So the eclipses absolutely affect everyone, but it may affect certain signs more than others. So you want to check your astrology chart to see where you have mutable signs of Virgo and Pisces prominently in your chart. But also, this will affect the other mutable signs of Sagittarius and Gemini. Okay, so those four signs will get a little bit more of the eclipse punch, so to speak. But every sign gets affected. So all should be listening to this. So here's themes that came forth. Healing and letting go. And Adri talked about that as well. Redefining perfectionism. Boy, that's a big one. And mental and emotional clarity. So Virgo's desire for perfection can sometimes lead us to stress or burnout. I have a Virgo moon, so I can attest to this. And we talked about that earlier, how burnt out your Grammy feels.
Aw.
So this eclipse helps you recognize where you may be too hard on yourself and offers an opportunity to embrace imperfection with compassion. Sometimes we just can't do it all, and it's okay. So lunar eclipses often bring revelations, and in Virgo, these insights may center around your work, health, or relationships. Very prominent with Virgo. So Virgo energy is deeply practical, making this an ideal time to reassess your routines, habits, and even your organizational systems. In essence, this may be a great time to declutter and simplify. And as you mentioned, Adri, do some spring cleaning. It's going to be kind of like good timing, actually, because spring cleaning is coming up. But don't let this eclipse bring you all work and then no play. And Virgo tends to be too serious. The serious disease, not the SIRIUS, but the other SEROIOUS, serious disease. So to balance the Pisces Virgo polarity, remember to create more loose structures. Okay, and that's hard for Virgo. Loose, not so tight, not so
Mhm.
contracted, which may support your practical, but also your spiritually joyous well-being and long-term goals for soul growth. So Virgo has a very spiritual side. So I feel an eclipse is an opportunity to tune more into that versus just only day-to-day routine. Okay, I think that's super duper important. Um, so with the sun in Pisces, we also have the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune in Pisces. So it's important to trust your intuition to guide you to make the best possible changes. So that's getting that balance that we're not just so practical and so limiting that we can't open to our imagination and intuition for other ways that could help whatever we're trying to decide upon. So a couple of questions here that I think are important. How is for this is for everyone, every sign. Okay. How is your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and material well-being? What habits or routines no longer serve you? Also, are there things you keep putting off, especially regarding your own well-being? Do you put others or even allow any fears around, say, financial health to control your choices? So, what new choices can support you? Remember, Venus and Aries may be impacting your choices right now. So, another question may be, where is the love? Where is the love? Do my choices reflect love or do they reflect fear? Very important. Brings it all together here. We need to look at that North Node in Pisces for a moment because that's what's going to help. The North Node is the dragon's head, and it's going to pull or push us forward in a sense of directing us and to move. And galactically speaking, the North Node in Pisces is showing squares with the galactic center and also the fixed stars of Safe, uh, and these are in Orion. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I think it's SAIPH, Safe, Betelgeuse, and Polaris, but also Eteman. So Eteman is part of the Draco constellation. Okay, so those four all have squares. So the sun in Pisces and the moon in Virgo are in a cazimi, but they're showing these squares with the Orion constellation and again, many of those fixed stars. So you can use our free galactic calculator. I think it's galacticastrochart.com. Did I get that right, Adri?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. And you can find out which house it is showing up in. That's so important. We can't really offer that because the houses will vary due to longitude and latitude lines in the world. So we really can't give you a house, but you can certainly find that out for yourself. Um, Also, if it's too much work for you, you don't have time, you could contact Adriana or myself and our emails, and we'd be happy to do a short report, a mini reading just specifically on this. Where is that in your house? Do you have these squares? How is it affecting you? Okay, so an example might be if the eclipse is in your 10th house, which is career and reputation, it could activate the polar house, the fourth house of home and karmic roots. So it may be that compromise could help to reconcile any differences and challenges And then you might be able to make better decisions that will benefit both your career and your home life. So I just want you to see how functional this can be, but in many cases, it can open up other choices and opportunities if we feel too contracted. Okay, so remember that Pisces influences our dreams and desires, but Virgo can help us manifest those dreams and desires into reality. Okay, so that's super important. So my guides say these galactic squares are helpful challenges for moving into a true letting go and open to radical changes. So eclipses may bring you an opportunity for an emotional reset because through Virgo's influence, this lunar eclipse may reveal old wounds or unhealthy patterns which are holding you hostage. Virgo's practical energy may help you to reassess those systems, routines, and work-life balance. So back to those fixed stars of Safe, Betelgeuse, Polaris, and Edaman. They may hold patterns of extreme structure and unrealistic expectations. And this isn't going to allow for new healthy change or for you to seed and manifest something new. And it's like you just keep running on that hamster wheel, repeating limiting and painful woundings over and over. There definitely is a possibility for that to happen this month. So please think about that. Where am I repeating patterns over and over? Okay, super important. Um, and especially for Virgo suns, moons, and risings. So I know, so like I said, I have a Virgo moon. Radical change is not your favorite thing, but the good news is once you get into the change, no one can make it more adaptable than you can. That's the one thing about Virgo that's good is adaptability. Okay. So through these galactic squares, you may have the opportunity to finally bring the parts of you which feel stuck in the dark into the light of this full blood moon. So true healing can come through self-care and nurturing healthier habits. This is for every sign experiencing the eclipses. So Virgo is the sign of service. So this eclipse may encourage you to realign with how you contribute to others and to the world around you. So that's what I've got.
Yeah, very, very beautifully said with what you shared there. And again, really reiterating what we discussed in our previous video about that practicality with Virgo making dreams into reality. Virgo and Pisces working together, dreams
Yes.
into reality. So thank you for bringing that back up again, because I think it's definitely coming back up with this eclipse energy for sure.
I, I'd love you to do your tarot next, if that's cool. And then I'll finish up
Sure.
with our oracle cards.
So I already pulled these cards before we started the video so that they would be ready. So I decided to pose the question, what cycle is ending? And then what new cycle is beginning with this eclipse? Because that's exactly what the eclipse symbolizes. So, and I was feeling intuitively this completion and new beginning. And obviously, just with springtime, of course, too, bringing in that new energy coming in with Aries soon. So, what cycle is ending? I got this card here. So, first, the Fool came out. Okay, see, okay. So, the Fool came out here, as well as the World. This is exactly that completion I was talking about. So, a completion here. So, the world's not ending, don't worry. It
I'm
is
getting
the
tingles.
ending of a chapter.
I'm getting tingles. So apropos. Thank you. I just,
Mhm.
wow. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'm head
That's
to toe.
okay. I'm glad it's yeah, I'm glad you're feeling it too. And as we'll see with your cards too, I know it'll be the same for me. The Fool, showing this adventure, the journey that you have been on to get here. So I was also kind of fascinated by a little bit of the numbers too with this card. The Fool representing a zero, again being a completion. Very Pluto energy too. And I also talked about Pluto now being in Aquarius. Very revolutionary changes. So coming through here. So this is a completion of a cycle from this journey that we've been on collectively. Okay, so we are seeing a new chapter finally coming into play. So that is what's ending. It's the old paradigm here. It's the old world that we are leaving behind here with that the Pluto in Capricorn that we had before. Now we have Pluto in Aquarius and we're in the age of Aquarius. So we are really shifting in and it's confirming that through these cards here. The ending of this cycle, the ending of this chapter, so we can move on to uh, better things essentially and create a better reality for ourselves collectively. So I said, what new cycle is then beginning? The Empress comes out, this beautiful divine feminine energy coming up here. I'm making sure she doesn't blur. There we go. This is a sign of fertility, springtime. And the Empress is breaks down to a number 3. So also can relate to Mercury, third house, with Mercury retrograde going on, as well as creativity. And it does correlate to the planet Jupiter also. So a very lucky planet and represents growth, fertility. So that energy coming in. So room for things to grow. So the baby is not born yet, so to speak. It is, in her womb. So it's that start, that phase of bringing life that will soon come into the world. So what is manifesting now? So really really cool to see that. And I hope that resonates for all of you as well that are watching this and what you're feeling and seeing going on. The bottom of the deck, too, we have the Angel of Judgment coming in. And it does feel very Virgo, too, with that card as well, the Virgo angel here. So not being judgmental, not the judgy Virgo, but bringing in a judgment call here of decisions that need to be made. As Caitlin said too, having to evaluate, are there things that I need to let go of? I can't do it all, right? So having that sense of awareness within yourself and making those judgment calls. The judgment card breaks down to a number 2 and relates to the moon. So tying in that total lunar eclipse here happening. So decisions, important decisions I feel are going to be made too during this time, whether through government or just in our own personal lives as well. So that is going to be coming through here. And it's all, again, to move away from the old and to bring in the new here. Okay. So that
Yeah.
is what I wanted to share with the tarot. What are your beautiful oracle cards?
I wanted to just speak on what you just shared. I noticed how the World card and the Empress card has the same. It broke down. Empress broke down from a 21 to a 3. Or, I'm sorry, the World broke down from a 21 to a 3, and then there's a 3 numerology. They share the exact same. They're creating
Yes, both
beauty
three. Thank you
and
for
growth.
pointing that out.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I think that's really important because that just says that, the world is going to outgrow the fool.
Yes.
That feels really good. It feels really good. I love it. All right. Well,
Nature supported.
I loved your reading, Adrienne. It was very passionate, excellent. And I received some very interesting cards. Um, I love Lissa Royal Holt's deck, the Galactic Heritage cards. They're just, there's 108 cards and they are just so rich. Those of you who are galactically minded and energized and want to learn more, I highly recommend this deck. It has been so helpful. And you learn so much. Her book is huge. It's how many pages in here? I don't even know. Let's see. Almost 150 pages. 150 pages. So quite a bit of information. It's truly a book. And so I was guided to pull these cards and just to get a little wisdom. And I received 2 cards. The first one is number 105, which is the light of awareness. Let me just show you the other one too. These 2 came in a row. And then 107 came, true compassion. And both of these are from Orion's light and their future. So when Orion stepped into their healed state of being, so which is very important because we parallel with Orion, as I'll talk about in a moment. But we'll look at that awareness card first, the light of awareness. And if you look at it, you can see the little being is holding actually next to itself a candle that is lit with a fire. And so focusing on the light of awareness. So what is awareness? A lot of people may not even know what that it means. To me, it's a state of complete observation. There's no judgment, truly witnessing. Awareness is a way to transcend the traps of polarization, the opposite poles. And Orion, in their enlightened future state, attained unification. And Lisa Rael Holt channeled this, I love this, abiding awareness is what she calls. So it's a continual awareness, constant, not unlike Buddha when he awoke under the tree. I am aware. It's like, and it was like, I am aware isn't just like, no, I'm aware. And then 2 seconds later, I'm off distracted over here. I am aware, period. Okay. Um, so it's just fascinating. I'm so happy these cards came up, and they are part of the last 4 cards of the entire book, which is interesting.
Mm.
Because many of our old wounds are from Orion. Okay, so my guides told me many, many moons ago that Orion is our as above to we are the so below. Orion, to me, when I've seen it and visited it through 5D meditations and visualizations, it reminds me of I think it's Star Trek New Generation, and then you have many different beings gathering in places together. It's a melting pot, not unlike how our world is now, and especially the United States with so many different cultures, so many different people. And so it's fascinating to me how we are paralleling that in our healing. We are in a point right now that is very dark. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. But there are, like this little card is showing, there's a little spurts of light, okay, that are coming in. We have light coming through. Um, and be aware of that. Don't be just only focused on the dark. Focus on these little light spots because they are huge because that light can spin into the dark. And as that light spins, it just takes over the dark. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. That really, I think, syncs up very well with what I had too. And you mentioned that it was one of the last 4 in
Mhm.
that deck. So it feels like, again, that completion, that ending of a cycle coming into play here. So that really felt like
And
it was syncing up with my tarot as well. And
totally.
what have we learned through the polarization? What is it that we've learned? Because this is, as you said, this goes back beyond this life, but past lives and the same patterns of polarity coming up again. So I think that really sinks in well with the both of
And
our
then the
cards here.
next card that you had too about or it was no judgment. I mean, it's like we have to step into the witness. And that's the way. It truly is. Um,
Observance, yes, yeah.
yes, completely.
Hmm. And
So then,
awareness, yeah.
yes, yes. So I'd like to just do a little quote from Lisa Rael Holt again. So the complete healing and integration of not only the polarity within the Orion system that has affected us all, but the polarity that played out within the holographic matrix of creation itself. She channels that these cards represent the end game, so to speak, the return to the source and our natural state of being as one unified, abiding consciousness. So once awakened, the illusion of polarity cannot exist. Okay? Uh, Let that sink in. Once
Mm.
awakened, the illusion of polarity cannot exist. And as above, Orion is in that state now, in the future. How long does it take to reach us? Well, we're in that healing process right now. And I'd like to expound a little bit because I feel that so many of the world stage players are playing out a lot of the Orion karma. There's just no doubt. And several of them have a lot of Orion in their charts. So this is being played out. And we have to move past the fear. I will talk, I think it's in the 29th, when we do our next video, upcoming video, a little more deeply about that because of the cards that I got for that one, that I actually picked while we've been doing this one, and how I'll share that story. It was kind of really like, wow, mind blowing how that happened because I've got 108 cards that I'm picking from, and to get these cards was mind blowing. But let me move to the second card for right now. So that's this true compassion. Okay. And again, this is their future light. And we are most, this is quoting her channeling. We are the most hurtful to ourselves, judging and punishing ourselves for perceived flaws. There comes Virgo right there. In order to transcend polarity, this self-judgment must stop. Treat yourself with the same kindness as you would any other being in creation. If you truly embrace the concept of unity, then you can omit yourself from the equation. You cannot omit yourself from the equation. This is a strong message to us all as we walk through this full blood moon in Virgo. So this is a very important lunar eclipse. Take time to release whatever is weighing you down and to welcome new changes that help your health and well-being on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, materially, across the board. And that's what I have to share.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this is really illuminating things, and it's bringing to light things that have been hidden under the surface. And as you said it, that's that Orion light coming through. So yeah, I definitely feel this. A lot of things are gonna just be coming out in March, I will say. So,
2026, we will be having these incredible Aries alignments coming up that signify like at 0 degrees. We'll be talking about that for sure. Everybody will be because that really could signify a new beginning because Aries is the beginning. It's
yes, beginning of a
so
new cycle here.
so we are being prepared for something really awesome. We have to just
Yes.
hang in there. Transitory times are not easy. But I highly recommend that by staying more focused on your grassroots, your community, knowing your neighbors, supporting one another. This is going to be very important. We support a wonderful, and many of our friends and others are supporting this beautiful farm store in our area. And I think it's just important to support people that you know, because we're going to be moving more towards that than ever before. Because as we have more and more of these possible, what do they call that when you can't find eggs, or the eggs become so costly, things like that. We're going to have
The price of eggs, yeah.
scarcity thing happening. Molly McCord called that one out a while ago, talking about it may be eggs, and boy, was she right. And so we're very blessed because we're connected to this farm store. So we are able to get our eggs, and it's affordable and it's healthy. So look for these things. Start living more locally. We get so attached to this internet, and it's wonderful that we have it. I mean, you and I wouldn't be able to connect. You live across the ocean, so it's beautiful. But we have to start living in our communities more. And that's Aquarius. And we are going to see more, and we're going to feel more of a pull that direction than ever before, I feel, because we have not had Pluto and Aquarius in 700, 800 years.
Yes.
So,
Very long, yeah.
so
Yeah,
here
it's
we
very Aquarius energy now.
Yes, it's, well, more to come. We're just still in that transition. But also,
Yes, definitely.
also in March, we're going to have the Yuga cycles shifting too. So that is
Hmm.
something that I will mention more about in our second video. So don't miss the upcoming video that we'll have for the March 29th solar eclipse, because these two are very connected, and you'll really, I think you'll enjoy it.
Hope you all enjoyed this first video for March, and again, look forward to our next video where we wrap up the month and let you know what's going on going into April. So we will see you then. Please do like this video, subscribe to our channels. Caitlin's Bhakti Galactic Healing. I'm on Starry Sky Readings. And if you are watching from the Galactic Astrology channel, thank you also for checking us out here, and let us know how you're feeling.
Say real quick, we will comment back to you. We're not going to ignore you. So we will talk to you.
Comment down below, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you. Namaste.